Welcome back to another session, Peter McGuire. We're looking at the week that's gone, the week ahead. Pete, tell us what's happened over the weekend. What are we looking forward to?
Well, good morning, Will. We've seen some big sell-offs as far as US equities over the last few days, and we saw that weakness continuing Friday. So when I woke up Saturday morning, they were down the best part of 2%. So how does that play as far as Asia equities moving forward this week? I think there could be some softness today, and we've just got to see the undercurrent moving forward. We've got a bit of data coming out this week. We've got two central banks reporting, UK and Australia. Not expecting anything from the Australians. I think it'll be just the status quo. And as far as the UK is concerned, if they don't run down that negative interest rate pathway, then you could see a bounce to the upside for the pound.
Pete, rare earths, critical minerals, EV, electric vehicles, supply chain, Tesla's in the market. Looking for more stock. Seems that there's not enough material coming out of the ground being processed to go into the demand for electric vehicles.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I mean, it may well be the cause, and you've got to look at batteries. You've got to look at all, of course, the rare earth supply.
All 17 of them.
Yeah, and then the next side, of course, is the death of the petrol engine. But I think there's still a few more years left in that yet. But it's going to be interesting.
The pun would be something along the lines of, well, there's a little left in the tank, Pete.
Could be a little left in the tank. Well, so let's just see where that rolls forward. But naturally, the demand picture under the previous Trump administration, he was very much pro getting America sorted as far as rare earths and continuum as far as supply. So Russia and China control a fair slice of it. Certainly China, and how that rolls forward over the next matter of years is going to be quite an interesting play.
Mate, signals. We saw some big signals around the world. Social media took hold of a little company called GameStop, and obviously everybody's been talking about that. Nothing new there. For 20 years, social media has been a channel. Media generally is a channel for people to talk about their stocks. But I think 18-year-olds driving or competing directly against some of the seasoned veterans of Wall Street. Pete, is this a new signal?
Well, Will, the first side is naturally you're looking at the short sellers. So they've taken it and ramped it up. The other side, as far as the all the young getting engaged and retail traders getting engaged through a social media platform, be able to link them together and then look at opportunities. And maybe they're going to target the shorts. How do the shorts play? Well, they naturally get squeezed because they've got to, and then you've got the option strategies associated with it from a derivative play. So it's not that difficult to get exposure. And how it rolls again over the next matter of days. We saw it sold off on Thursday and then a big bounce back 60-odd% to the upside on Friday. So US equities were off, but that was well up. So let's see what happens over the next 24 hours. Could be an interesting one. And then what other stocks are short. So they could be great plays forward as well.
Well, the psychology of the trader, the psychology of I guess of youth today coming into a market and looking at ways in which they can influence the mechanical output.
Yep, you bet. And I think the stocks to look at are certainly the ones that are very overly short or naked short. In other words, they're even short stock that doesn't exist. So the strategies and the preparedness. It's the old story, good luck equals preparedness meets opportunity, and at the moment there's an opportunity and they're prepared. So it's you could be interesting also. Silver's up the best part of 13% in the last couple of days. There could be a real good spike to that
rallying
one.
Behind silver.
Yep.
Pete, very quick look at China manufacturing activity here. So we're looking at sort of the latter part of 2019, early 2020. We've seen a big drop. We've seen a bounce back, and it looks like it's trending. It's trending horizontally to some extent there.
Yeah.
If we look at those two green lines, and the blue.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're looking at what happened in the last 6 months, it's been a strong move, a rebound, V-shaped recovery, and now possibly some of that steam's coming out of it. We've got a Lunar New Year for the Chinese this month, 1st of February today. You can't believe it. And then I think it's going to be traditionally a quiet time over there over the next 3 to 4 weeks as far as reporting. So let's see where March and April take us. But they've come out of the whole COVID situation far better than a lot of other economies.
So, and certainly earlier. I mean, they were in earlier. Obviously, it impacted them earlier. They put their might and power behind it, and no doubt they've been making their moves.
Yep. So let's see vaccination rollouts across the world. Are they safe to take? Who knows? It just seems to be there's so many different components to all of that equation also. So it's very much a wait and see approach.
Sure. Primary movers there: Moderna, Pfizer, AstraZeneca. AstraZeneca looks like it's coming to Australia. Let's wait and see.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
Righto,
Absolutely.
Pete. So if we look forward here, we take another look here at the next chart up. We're talking Bank of England and the policy rates. Waning enthusiasm for negative rates. Is that the story?
Well, the issue there is you've had a strong move as far as pound to US dollar. We're around that 137 number. You could see, the talk this week as far as, the negative rate potential, or whether there's going to be a little bit of argy-bargy from the exchequer. So I think that where the pound's sitting at the moment, there could be a little bit of that push to the upside, a 138 plus handle. US dollar still at that 90.5 sort of number for US dollar index. So that could be a little bit of a nice trade over the next few days.
Quick segue across to the Eurozone, the inflation and the GDP growth. Got two charts up there stacked. What is that really telling you, mate?
Well, when you're looking at it, you're looking at the inflation. We're certainly worried about inflation moving forward. When I say worried about it, we need to get up to the 1.5 to 2.5% handle. So how long is it going to take to materialise? We've got a fairly strong signal from central bankers over the last matter of months is they're not really going to do, ramp rates up until at least that 22 to 23 sort of number year, that is. So at the moment, inflation will just start to tick up. Energy prices are at the best part of 50 to 55 bucks a barrel for crude. Let's see what happens there as far as price. Secondly, we have to see what goes on geopolitically, the situation South China Sea with Taiwan, what's happening in Iran, and all of that.
The interplay, really. I mean,
it is an interplay. It's also the other side. Where does Eurozone play as far as all the vaccines? And
at the moment, there seems to this whole Brexit Euro thing seems to be creating a problem for vaccine rollout. You're going to have vaccines stopped at borders, according to the headlines over the weekend. I mean, how could that can't be good for anybody?
No, it can't be if you want to take one. So there's the next part. So as far as the GDP growth, we all understand that they could be. We've got numbers coming out of Eurozone this week. It could be if they're not surprising and they're weak, then it could be a double dip recession there. So the Eurozone's not out of the woods just yet.
Brief comment here on non-farm payrolls. Graph sort of tells the story here. We've seen a massive spike down, and in fact, look, let's face it, it still looks like it's trending down.
Well, that unemployment number around about that 6.8. We've got the numbers being released this Friday. The other side, of course, is that December were very, very poor numbers. January aren't good either. So, there could be a 20,000 handle there or around about for unemployment. So, as it edges back up to 6.8, is this the sign of the times leading into the rest of 21? So it's we're first month in, and let's see the next this quarter is going to be interesting where we sit in April.
All right, Pete. Big themes inside. Where's the Dow at? What's the Nasdaq doing? What's the dollar doing? And what's oil price? Where's the oil price sitting?
Well, oil, as we mentioned, 52 to 55. Well, I'm worried about that US dollar. Does it soften from here? General consensus on Wall Street, we've seen 4 or 5 days of losses. So there's an issue there. Is it going to rebound this week to the upside, or are we going to continue a softness? Dow was down, S&P and Nasdaq down pretty heavily, 2% on Friday, so Saturday morning our time. Let's see what Asia does today. I'm conscious as far as, from a trading perspective. I'm interested to see the GameStop guys and what other, they say silver's, it could be the next one to ratchet up quickly. It's up, 13, 14% in 3 days. So there could be further upside there. That may lift gold. It's going to be an interesting week, man. Very interesting.
Mate, from an XM perspective, with 4 million odd traders there looking at your data every day, the interaction, and no doubt you're monitoring some of the business is monitoring some of the activity there. What's the sense, of that community in relation to perhaps some of the non-expected signals that they're seeing in their markets?
Well, I think most traders, it's very much an FX game because there's huge liquidity. You've got $6 trillion approximately a day traded. So we want to see where the US dollar trends, what's happening as far as the Aussie, where does the pound move, Japanese yen, and of course the euro. So it's, I know that's only a little basket, but there's so much movement in there that there could be 1% moves on any of those within the next matter of a day or two. So, central bank comments, slew of data being released, GDP numbers, PMIs, you name it, they're all into a big melting pot which in turn drives sentiment. And I think that US dollar may come back a fraction, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Peter McGuire, thanks for speaking with us. It's a pleasure. And ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to welcoming Pete back next week for a wrap up on what happened and what next.
Thank you, Will.